All right, first example here, your monthly cell phone plan costs $75. It includes unlimited talk and data and 500 text messages. If you go past 500 texts for a month, it will cost you 10 cents per text you send. Write a piecewise function to represent this situation. So, I'm noticing two very different scenarios going on here. We know that we have a cell phone plan that costs $75. It includes unlimited talk and data and 500 text messages. Then the paragraph goes and explains that if you go past that mark for a month, it will cost you 10 cents per text to send. So if I'm trying to break down this piecewise function, the very first thing that I want to make sure that I understand is that it kind of looks like I have two different scenarios going on here in terms of this piecewise function. So I'm going to go ahead and write that out. I'm assuming that they're going to be two different situations playing itself out. The second thing I want to pinpoint is the fact that it looks like the thing that is kind of going to be the variable of change is going to be how many texts we can have. So I'm going to go ahead and call that my x value. So the amount of texts are going to be my x value. It looks like the cost, how much it's going to cost me per month, is going to be my y value. So that's the y value. That is also, as we know, the f of x. Both are the same. Let's go ahead and take a look at what I said in purple. Or at least underlined in purple on the screen here. Your monthly cell phone plan costs $75. That includes a bunch of different things. There is none of these words over here in that phrasing, each, every, per. So it's $75. I could send 5 text messages, 100 text messages, 200 text messages. It doesn't matter. It's going to be $75. This is a constant interval. It's going to stay flat like that the whole time, no matter what. So I'm going to write down that the linear equation for the first part of this scenario is 75. What is the interval in that scenario? Well, knowing that x is the amount of text messages, I know that covers it up to 500 text messages. I also know is that there's no such thing as a negative amount of text messages. So I want to set up some barriers here. If I go 0 all the way up to 500, that pretty much takes in the amount of text messages, and no matter what in the scenario, it's going to cost me $75. The next part's the tricky part. We know that this plan is going to cost me $75, so I do want to start off with that same 75 right there. I also know that I can send over 500 text messages in this orange scenario. Right, so I know that really there's no way of going past infinity in this scenario, but this would cover me pretty much all the way up to whatever the amount of text messages you desire to text. So in terms of this interval, what's the number past 500? It's 501. Nobody's sending half of a text message. All right, so I know that it's going to cost me 10 cents. And I know that it's going to be for every additional text sent past 500. So we're talking 501, 502, 503. But those things are all going to cost 10 cents. When I take care of this in the piecewise function, here's how I write it out. I'm going to use a parenthesis. I'm going to use the previously mentioned end of the interval, so that interval we know is going up to 500. And then I have that right there. So that if I had 501, it would cost me the original $75 plus an additional 10 cents. If I went to 502, it would cost me 20 cents plus the 75. So in terms of that situation, I wrote the end point for the previous interval, which is $75, and then I tacked on 10 cents for every text message past the 500. That is the correct answer in this scenario. The first part, a lot easier than the second part, but we'll get more practice on it as we go along.